The worst horror movies of all time. Get ready to dive into the world of horror as we take a look at some of the absolute worst horror films ever made. From cheesy plots to laughable special effects, these movies have left audiences both cringing and chuckling. Join us on a journey through the most frightful and unforgettable cinematic disasters that have earned their spot in the Hall of Shame. 6 Souls 2010. A forensic psychiatrist discovers that all but one of her patients' multiple personalities are murder victims. She will have to find out what's happening before her time is finished. Darkness 2002. A teenage girl moves into a remote country house with her family, only to discover that their gloomy new home has a horrifying past that threatens to destroy the family. The Order 2003. A young priest is sent to Rome to investigate the troubling death of the head of his order. When a Stranger Calls 2006. During a babysitting gig, a high school student is harassed by an increasingly threatening prank caller. White Noise 2005. An architect's desire to speak with his wife from beyond the grave becomes an obsession with supernatural repercussions. The Reaping 2007. A former Christian missionary who specializes in debunking religious phenomena investigates a small town which seems to be suffering from the 10 biblical plagues. Beneath the Darkness 2011. After watching their best friend get murdered, a group of teens struggle to expose a local hero as the vicious killer and keep from becoming his next victims. Bless the Child 2000. Cody, a little girl abandoned by her mother and raised by her aunt, a nurse, is kidnapped. The girl's guardian, aided by an FBI agent, learned that Cody has supernatural abilities, and the abductees are a satanic cult willing to do anything to gain them. I Still Know What You Did Last Summer 1998. The murderous fisherman with a hook is back to once again stalk the 2 surviving teens, Julie and Ray, who had left him for dead, as well as cause even more murder and mayhem, this time at a posh island resort. Species 2. An astronaut gets infected with alien DNA during the first mission on Mars and runs amok on Earth. Preston and Laura team up with a peaceful, genetically re-engineered cell to track the monster down. Lost Souls. A Catholic teacher meets an atheist journalist whom a group of Catholics and priests believes has been chosen by the devil to be the Antichrist. Godsend. A couple agree to have their deceased son cloned under the supervision of an enigmatic doctor, but bizarre things start to happen several years after his rebirth. Flatliners 2017. 5 medical students, obsessed by what lies beyond the confines of life, embark on a daring experiment. By stopping their hearts for short periods, each triggers a near-death experience, giving them a first-hand account of the afterlife. The Haunting of Molly Hartley. A girl with PTSD attempts to refresh her life at a new school, but soon finds it impossible when she's afflicted by not only bullying and bad memories, but also the supernatural. Pulse. When their computer hacker friend accidentally channels a mysterious wireless signal, a group of co-eds rally to stop a terrifying evil from taking over the world. Death of Me. A vacationing couple must discover the mystery behind a strange video that shows one of them killing the other. The Happening. A science teacher, his wife, and a young girl struggle to survive a plague that causes those infected to commit suicide. I Know Who Killed Me. A young woman who was missing reappears, but she claims to be someone else entirely. The film was called one of the worst films ever made, being the most awarded at the 28th Golden Raspberry Awards, winning 7 of 8 nominations. Knock Knock. The devoted husband and father helps 2 stranded young women who knock on his door, but his kind gesture turns into a dangerous seduction and a deadly game of cat and mouse. The Unborn. A young woman fights the spirit that is slowly taking possession of her. Soul Survivors. A college student is caught between the world of the living and the dead. The Unholy. A hearing-impaired girl is visited by the Virgin Mary and can suddenly hear, speak, and heal the sick. As people flock to witness her miracles, terrifying events unfold. Are they the work of the Virgin Mary or something much more sinister? Bring it on, Cheer or Die. When a cheer squad practices their routines on Halloween weekend in an abandoned school, they are picked off one by one by an unknown killer. Book of Shadows, Blair Witch 2. A group of tourists arrives in Burkittsville, Maryland after seeing the Blair Witch Project 1999 to explore the mythology and phenomenon, only to come face to face with their own neuroses and possibly the witch herself. Mary, a family looking to start a charter boat business, buys a ship that holds terrifying secrets once out on isolated waters. Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2022. After 48 years of hiding, Leatherface returns to terrorize a group of idealistic young friends who accidentally disrupt his carefully shielded world in a remote Texas town. The Darkness. A family unknowingly awakens an ancient supernatural entity on a Grand Canyon vacation and must fight for survival when it follows them home. Fear.com. A New York City detective investigates mysterious deaths occurring 48 hours after users log onto a site named Fear.com. Cabin Fever 2016. While staying at a remote cabin for a week-long vacation, a group of 5 college friends succumb to an infectious, flesh-eating disease. The Disappointments Room. A mother and her young son release unimaginable horrors from the attic of their rural dream home. The Fog. A thick mist full of vengeful spirits haunts a prosperous island town off the coast of Oregon, as its inhabitants try to learn their town's dark secret in order to stop it. The Turning. A young governess is hired to look after an orphan girl, but the return of the girl's problematic brother uncovers secrets from their past. A modern take on Henry James' novella The Turn of the Screw. Disquiet. After a near-fatal car accident, Sam Myers wakes to discover he is trapped in an abandoned hospital by mysterious and sinister forces that have no intention of letting him leave. The Fanatic. A rabid film fan stalks his favorite action hero and destroys the star's life. The Jester. A malevolent being known as the Jester terrorizes the inhabitants of a small town on Halloween night, including 2 estranged sisters who must come together to find a way to defeat this evil entity. Children of the Corn 2020. The film describes the events leading up to and including the massacre of the adults of a small town in Nebraska by their children, after the adults' irresponsibility ruins the crop and the children's future. Ouija. A group of friends must confront their most terrifying fears when they awaken the dark powers of an ancient spirit board. Fantasy Island. When the owner and operator of a luxurious island invites a collection of guests to live out their most elaborate fantasies in relative seclusion, chaos quickly descends. Sharknado. When a freak hurricane swamps Los Angeles, nature's deadliest killer rules sea, land, and air as thousands of sharks terrorize the waterlogged populace. Rings. A young woman finds herself on the receiving end of a terrifying curse that threatens to take her life in 7 days. Against the Dark. In a post-apocalyptic world, a master swordsman leads a squad of ex-military vigilantes into a hospital on a mission to rescue trapped survivors from bloodthirsty disease-infected humans. The Apparition. A couple is haunted by a supernatural presence that is unleashed during a college experiment. They/them, a group of teenagers at an LGBTQ conversion camp, endures unsettling psychological techniques while being stalked by a mysterious masked killer. Halloween. Resurrection. 3 years after he last terrorized his sister, Michael Myers confronts her again, before traveling to Haddonfield to deal with the cast and crew of a reality show which is being broadcast from his old home. Breach. On the cusp of fatherhood, a junior mechanic aboard an interstellar arc to New Earth must outwit a malevolent cosmic terror intent on using the spaceship as a weapon. House of the Dead. A group of college students travels to a mysterious island to attend a rave, which is soon taken over by bloodthirsty zombies. Alone in the Dark. A detective of the paranormal slowly unravels mysterious events with deadly results. Slender Man. In a small town in Massachusetts, a group of friends, fascinated by the internet lore of the Slender Man, attempt to prove that he doesn't actually exist, until one of them mysteriously goes missing. Jeepers Creepers. Reborn. Forced to travel with her boyfriend, Lane begins to experience premonitions associated with the urban myth of the Creeper. She believes that something supernatural has been summoned, and that she is at the center of it all. Winnie the Pooh. Blood and Honey. After Christopher Robin abandons them for college, Pooh and Piglet embark on a bloody rampage as they search for a new source of food. The film was panned by critics, receiving 5 Golden Raspberry Awards: Worst Picture, Worst Director, Worst Screenplay, Worst Screen Combo, and Worst Remake, Ripoff, or Sequel.